Welcome back. It's today. Today's date, September 19th, and you are on Fixing My Faith, and my name is Vern. A couple of years, this is the third summer we started this channel, and over the past 6 months, we opened the channel up because of our StreamYard. So we have the Joe and Fran show going. I come on and do a few lives. I talk about the Elders book. Friday, I try to get the news in on a live. Ruby Quinn comes in on Tuesdays, and she works with us on our StreamYard, and we're opening it up to others. Ruby is, I'm going to bring her up. She's right here, yeah. So Ruby's on our StreamYard, and she's been covering a political coverage on her channel. So one of her last shows was this one here, the ExJW, and I watched it, the show. I don't watch all of them because it's you can only watch so much. And I'm not really into politics, like I said before, so I thought it would be good on the channel to talk about politics, because we can. And I'm going to show you in a second how the Bible supports this, talking about politics or getting involved in politics. And of course, there's always two sides. Politics, in my opinion, is almost like religion. There's two sides. One side figures are right, So, I don't know what you guys have been figuring about the political channel. I noticed we had Ron Pomo came on this show, and he expressed some of his feelings. And I thought that was great, that there's, differences of opinions. Now, when I look at politics, I plug that into JW.org, and that's really all I have, folks, for you. I've been in this religion so long, that's all I have. So when I come out, I'm going to show you next what I've been using for 3 years on this channel. But anyways, politics, I look at JW.org. Why do Jehovah's Witnesses maintain neutrality? It makes sense because there is a lot of arguments and stuff with politics. And did Jesus get involved in it? Well, yeah, he did, actually. He started a new movement. He started as a brand new political movement, and he went into the old movement and turned over money tables and whipped out the guys. Like, actually cracked a whip. So it depends how you want to read this whole thing. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses say, should religion be involved in politics? Well, the religion itself, no. But the people, right? This is the people, because we're the voice as the people. And I'm going to show you that in a few scriptures. Now, when I look at JW.org stuff, all over the board, they stay away from certain scriptures. And they only promote other certain scriptures. They cherry pick. So you never get the whole story, what the Bible's really teaching. Now, the Bible teaches different things all the way through history. And JW.org misses it on purpose, because they want to narrow or program you to give your allegiance to the governing body. You see, they don't want your allegiance divided between political parties, and then if that happens, then you're going to be divided maybe with religion. You might think, well, I'm going to go try the Mormon church for a while, or the Seventh-day Adventist. Lots of people do, or I'm going to become an Orthodox Christian. I'm going to try something a little different. Lots of people do that. Nothing wrong with it. And we watched the program on Joe and Fran's last night about Scientology. They had a Scientologist come on, and he got out and he tried a whole bunch of stuff. And then now he's a pastor in a church. Good program. You'll want to watch it. Now, JW.org, they talk about, should religion be involved in politics? And all the way through, you'll look, did Jesus? No, Jesus did not take sides. Well, in my opinion, Jesus started up his own political movement. I got this little cat here. He's always comes here and he's purring, and he wants to get. Always when I'm at the computer doing a show, the cats come. And I don't know what it is, but they like They know they can take advantage of us because we're sitting here. Oh, they're wonderful creatures. But Jesus promoted a heavenly government. He promoted God's kingdom. That's what JW Org says, and that's right. That's a political party. He was challenged because he was taking the people in a different direction. The scribes and Pharisees challenged him on this. Now, did first century Christians get involved in politics? They say no. Jesus' followers obeyed his commands. Yeah, they followed Jesus, a new political leader. And first century Christians, you see, they don't talk here about Romans. Nowhere in any of the JW Org articles, when you plug in politics, did they pull up the scripture in Romans. Do you see it? It's not there. This is all slanted for their religion. And they're saying no to politics. Now, when I go into the Bible, this is a Bible tool. I've been using it forever. And it's just open Bible info. It's free. It's on the internet. And you just plug in a word, politics. That's how I do it really quick. So Romans 13 comes up. I've used this on so many broadcasts. Let every person be subject to governing authorities, for there's no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. There you have it. It's very simple. And if you don't believe Romans, well, go down and it's reaffirmed to us. Here I have it highlighted in Titus. Titus says, remind them to be submissive to the rulers and authorities. Be obedient. Be ready for every good work. You see, the Bible all the way through talks good about the governments. And when you look at war, a lot of people think government's war. Well, governments are really you and I. We're the people, we're the voice, and we can elect in a certain government when election time comes. And there's nothing wrong with it. Let every person be subject to governing authorities. So you have these governing authorities, it's election time, they're all candidates, they're all talking about what they're going to do. So now we have a chance, we're the voice, we're the people, we have a chance to express our voice through voting, you see. We find the government that we like that's going to align up to our thinking. And that's how politics really works. Now the Bible, when you talk about war has been with us since the beginning of time, folks. God has been at war since day one. On earth, anyways, with Satan, if we follow the Bible. So war is in the Bible. Ecclesiastes says there's a time to love, a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace. So do we cherry pick? Do we use the whole Bible? All scriptures are inspired of God? Or do we just pick and choose and we cherry pick these little pieces just to fit our narrative so that we want our audience giving us allegiance? You see, that's what JW Org does. But when you read the Bible talks about wars. Matthew says you're going to hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that you're not alarmed. These things must take place. The end is not yet. James, he says, what causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? You desire and do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have, because you do not ask. So all the way through the Bible, this is war within ourselves, and then it ends up being war outside of ourselves. This is how wars start with countries. They want something that is not theirs, so they go to war. Now, all the way through the Bible, we see that war. There's lots of wars. God's at war. So war is with us. King Solomon, he was a government. He had these huge armies. He was like the biggest guy out there at his time. God was with him. So war is there. If we're going to read the Bible, let's read the whole thing. Now, also, just like when we look at Ruby Quinn, I think it's important. I know nothing about politics, but with the U.S. politics, Canada is very closely linked. We're a bordering country of the U.S. So what happens in the U.S. does affect Canada, and it did on the last election. Every election it does. So we're all interested all over the world, and on our channel, we want to be balanced. We want to show both sides. I like the ExJWs. I like to see the ExJWs coming out of the religion and saying, hey, yeah, just like I'm thinking, there's nothing wrong with politics. It's in the Bible. If we're going to be biblical, some just get right out of the Bible and say it's nonsense. And everyone can make their own decision. So we're going to look at Watchtower Help today. And I just watched ExJW Analyzer, Jonathan. And he did his first live with Jimmy Bell on politics after leaving Jehovah's Witnesses. And I thought it was a great live. It was a 2-hour live. It's worth the watch. And 2 different opinions. And these gentlemen were very amicable, sharing their opinions to the audience. So I want to give these guys a big thumbs up, because that's what it's all about. This isn't anything to get excited about. Now, this guy here, Watchtower Help admin, his stage name is Frank Annan, and he's an ex-Jehovah's Witness. He worked in the New York Bethel, then he left, woke up. His sister was in and all kinds of stuff. He has quite the story. We featured him about a year ago, quite a bit of his stuff on our channel. We email back and forth. You can get a hold of him, I believe, through Watchtower Help Club. So, yeah, you can get a hold of him if you follow his Watchtower Help Club. He has a lot of information helping people to leave the organization, to mentally figure things out. This guy's a scholar. I think a lot of him. I've never met him, but we've talked a lot on email. And okay, so what I'm going to do, because his channel doesn't get the hits, I'm going to play, and we have permission to use his videos. I'm going to play the last 2 videos of his. You guys can watch ExJW Analyzer, but I'm going to play these on the channel. Both videos are short, and the first video is like a 6-year-old. What would a 6-year-old think, looking at the election? I thought this was masterfully done. So bear with me. We're going to get that one up and running for you. Okay, so here we go, explaining the presidential race like I'm a 6-year-old. We'll see you in a bit.
Hi, everybody. I found this chart my dad is working on, and I'm gonna try to explain all about this presidential election, to the best of my ability. You see, there's these 3 candidates at the top. Candidate means someone who wants to be president. But only one can win. So, we have to compare them and see which one is the best choice. Oh, and they each belong to a club, called a party for some reason, though the only time I see balloons and confetti is when they win. In the first column is Don, he's in the Republican Party. Then there's Joe, he's president right now, and is in the Democratic Party. Finally, there's Jill, of the Green Party. So, this first guy, Don, was president, but then lost cause the second guy, Joe, beat him fair and square. But Don was a sore loser, and threw a tantrum worse than my little sister when she doesn't get what she wants. Don claimed that Joe cheated, so he got a bunch of bullies to beat up the cops and poop in the halls of Congress, and hold people hostage, and threaten to hang the vice president. Guess he never was in Little League. Coach taught us to accept defeat graciously. That means without yelling or crying or calling the other team cheaters. He's already said that he's not going to accept the results if he doesn't win. What a poor sport! He'd never make it on our team. Jill hasn't been president yet. Can you imagine a girl as president? I guess it wouldn't be so bad. It couldn't be any worse than what the boys have done. But let's go down the list. First up is age. Wow! Look at that! They're all ancient. They say Joe is too old, but he's only 3 years older than Don, which isn't much, I'm told, when you're that old. But, hey, if youth is the criteria, then Jill's the winner in that category. Let's see, impeachments. I don't know what that is, but Don's a clear winner there, 2-0. Next is felonies. Wow! 34-0. I don't know what felonies are, but Great-Grandpa Archie says the day he got them he won the election, so they must be good things to have. It looks like Don comes out on top in lots of these categories, where the others have nothing or next to nothing. I don't know much about that stuff except for education and science. Dad says science denier means that Don doesn't know about climate change, and that his policies will hurt my children. But I'm never gonna have children, cause that has something to do with liking girls, yuck. That's why I don't care about sex education either. Dad says that Trump must want me to learn it on the streets. Sorta like basketball, I guess. Grown-ups use charts like this, but one thing that's not on the chart is that in Don's party you get to wear these red baseball caps. And dress up. Like this guy. Pretty cool, huh? Well, that's all for now. I hope this chart helps you, and that you understand it better than me. I guess that's why I'm not allowed to vote yet. We kids rely on you grown-ups to make the right decisions for our future. I'm sure you'll figure out the best candidate and vote for her.
Okay, so that was the first video. That was from a 6-year-old's point of view, and I thought it was interesting. It helped me because I'm like a 6-year-old when it comes to this stuff. You know, what do I really know? So put in the comments. I know, no, don't put in the comments because I don't want to have a debate with anybody. That's what Ruby does. But you can talk to Watchtower Help Club if you want. You can get a hold of him through their website, and you can leave comments. Okay, so the next video I'm going to run is also off Watchtower Help Club, and these videos are kind of an opposite video to what has been run on our channel, so it gives kind of like the other side, and I think that's important, and I think Frank Annan did a wonderful job in putting these together, so I want to give him a big thumbs up. Now this next video might be not be for everyone.
It's all about me, so you know it's
this next video might not be for everyone, but it's the song of Donald Trump, and it's if you know anything about Frank Annan, he did the song of the governing body, and he had the moon. I didn't even watch this whole thing through, so we're gonna watch it together. I'm gonna get off the screen and we're gonna hit play. So here we go.
song. It's all about me, so you know it's got to be good. I should have written this song. All about me. Would you like me to sing it? You would? I'm not going to sing it. I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer. Though I know more about music than anyone. Biden? He can't carry a tune. He can't carry anything. A weak man, very weak. Lost without a teleprompter. Me? I don't need a teleprompter. I can talk coherently for hours without one. I won't sing the song, but I'll read the lyrics. Very good lyrics. I spent all night writing them. Guys, can you get the teleprompter working? And they wonder why I don't pay the bill. While we're waiting, let me just say Hannibal Lecter was a wonderful man. Invited his friend to dinner. Maybe I'll invite Biden to dinner at the White House. Some fava beans and a nice Chianti. He can bring his wife, Jill. He'll have to dress her up, though, if she's going to sit at the same table as Melania. He'll probably fall asleep, like I did in court, just so he doesn't pass gas. You guys ready now? Okay, here we go, the song of Donald J. Trump. The truth is something I'm not telling. I'm twice impeached and 34 times a felon. My followers end up in jails. No one else's bigly fails. They say politicians lie. All our lives we've heard that use car salesmen and politicians. Well, I've told over 30,000 lies, all documented. So I must be the greatest politician who ever lived. Go ahead, beat the protesters. I'll pay your fines. Though I can't serve your jail times, I'll pardon them down to zeros. Just like the Jan 6th heroes, who in the halls of Congress shit, to prove them each a patriot, honoring what this country stands for, loyal to one who demands more. I'm just like Jesus and Mother Teresa, diverting hurricanes with Sharpie and a razor, or maybe I'll just nuke him. And women, how I woo them, I grab him by the vagina. The COVID hoax that came from China, should it strike while MAGA reigns, will pump some bleach into your veins. Biden, what did he ever do for this country? Oh, sure, he organized the distribution of the COVID vaccine, and who knows what's in that stuff. But that bleach idea and how I turned a pandemic into a political issue for my own ends while millions were dying, it takes a mind like mine to come up with things like that. My memory is very sound, known as a stable genie ass. Over there's a hole in the ground, and here's my glorious ass. Ear, I mean, here is my ass. No worries, I can speak out of both of them. But the one behind me is the one I wipe with classified documents. Why do you think I keep boxes full of them in my bathroom? It declassifies them immediately. No one wants to touch them after that.
Sink. I won't talk about the fact that people have to flush their toilet 15 times. Okay.
Hillary couldn't do that with her emails. Lock her up. Lock her up. In my world, we have alternative facts, where I'm loved by women, Hispanics, and blacks, those shithole country rapists. Though I'm not sexist nor a racist, unbeknownst to liberals, refugees are criminals. I'll solve our border calamities by separating families. Democrats are just so dumb. As cancer-causing windmills hum, they spread their global warming hoax, fooling simple-minded folks. While we all drilled, baby, drilled, vote for me if you're not skilled. I appoint by nepotism. That's how it works with despotism. Don't matter if they're incompetents, I'll place in them my confidence. Buy my Bible, buy my shoes, but don't buy into the fake news. Send me money right away. For porn stars I may have to pay, or treatments for their gonorrhea, or funding war with North Korea. You know I never use protection. Just ask Stormy Daniels. Did you see the photo of me staring at the eclipse? No protection. I don't need it. I'm strong. Well, I gotta go. Let's all walk down Fifth Avenue and shoot some guy who happens to be standing there. Peacefully. Peacefully. Hey, did you see that chick in the second row? I'd sure like to grab her by the pussy, get found liable in another sexual assault. It can only help my cause, and I'll have fun doing it. It's a win-win. These MAGA idiots don't know wrong from right. They're just like me. If I tell them felonies are good things, they believe me. They're impressed every time I chalk up another one. I figure if I get one more bigly felony conviction, I'm a shoo-in for the presidency. What's that? The mic's still on. Who cares? I've been recorded saying worse, and the whole world's heard it. I came right out and said I want to be a dictator. Don't you know it doesn't matter what cult leaders do or say? Our followers are going to remain blindly loyal. Take this damn mic off me, Trump's got to take a dump.
Well, once again, I would like to thank Frank for all his hard work he put into that video. I was amazed more with the graphics, how he matched Trump's voice, how he did the head, like everything about that. It was a great production. And all of the quotes and all of that, I don't follow politics to know about it, but I did hear about some of them. And I thought, well, wow. So that's all I have for you on politics. It's again one of those subjects that's almost like religion. It can be very controversial, but again, if we're a Bible believer, and the Bible supports politics all the way through, so I guess when people say, well, Jesus wasn't in politics, I say, well, take a second look. He started a whole new movement, a whole new reform. And in his political party, he said, you know what, just pay Caesar's things to Caesar's, but pay God's things to God. You see, that was his political movement. And pay Caesar's things to Caesar's, pay God's things to God. It's actually brilliant when you think of it for a political movement. And then to visually go in and grab a whip and go in and whip out the money changers, turn over the tables, and say, this is a house of prayer. This is not a house of gambling and selling things. So that was a whole different movement, because the current reform was this house of gambling, or selling birds so they could go and get forgiveness of sins. That's what the religion or the political movement of the time was supporting. So Jesus turned that over. The political rulers tried to assassinate him, and they did. So it's interesting. He fled, and it's a political movement. So that's all I have for you today, folks. Thanks for bearing with us. This is all interesting, this whatever's happening right now. Now, if you're a Bible believer, Romans says God's in charge. If God's in charge, then what do we have to worry about? Whatever happens, happens. There's nothing to worry about here. But you, if you're in the U.S., Frank, by the way, Watchtower Help Admin, he is in the U.S. When we talk about his videos, he is in the U.S. He can put this stuff out. Freedom of speech, that's what it's all about, right? So he's putting out his message. We've heard on our channel, Ruby has had her message. Thank you very much, Ruby. You've done a lot of work. And I think it's important. I kind of go through the JW message, the Bible message. We've heard all that. I've threw out the Romans 13:1-7 a lot. When we look at the Bible. So like I say, we looked at Ruby's. Thank you, Ruby. We looked at the Watchtower, their viewpoint on politics, and should religion be involved in politics. But you see, they leave out these scriptures. Watchtower always leaves out these scriptures. You plug these scriptures in, they come up. And if we're to be in subjection to the governing authorities, well, they're throwing out an election. The governing authorities want us to vote. The Bible says be in subjection to them. So it says there's no authority except from God, and those that exist right here have been instituted by God. So we'll see what happens. Watchtower Help Club, he's part of the people. ExJW Analyzer, he's part of the U.S. people. We're neighboring. We're just neighboring countries here in Canada. So we'll see what happens on the election. It's going to be interesting. And folks will keep living your life with love. That really works. It does. It's the best political movement there is. What Jesus talked about, living your life with love. I like it. That's what I roll with, so that's what I keep saying. And you think you got a mess in the U.S.? We have a mess in Canada. So we'll see what happens, folks, in the future. See you on the next video. Bye for now.